Hey everyone, it's XPN here, and today we have a gameplay of Domination on Underpass on Modern Warfare 2. And I met up with a few friends this weekend on Labor Day weekend, and one of my friends just got his engineering license, so congratulations to him. And then along the night, we started to talk about all the BS we dealt with in university. So yeah, we all went to the same university for the same program, and then all the BS we had to deal with at work. And working with engineers, some of them, not all, but some of them have the biggest egos and they cannot accept that they were wrong or even entertain the thought that there's another solution that's not theirs. So in every meeting, there's always an argument with at least the seniors. Anyways, as we kept talking, we were talking about the small company I used to work at for my first job, and they talked about all the BS I had to endure. And they even questioned me why I stayed for so long. So I thought, this would be a good topic to talk about. In my last video, I mentioned that I was a chemical engineer. I wasn't certified yet because I still needed my years of experience. I was just a fresh graduate and I was working at a small startup for a chemical company, and we were focusing on gas production. So it was Friday and it was almost 5, and we were ready to start the sequence to shut down the plant so that everyone can leave at 5 p.m. that day. But my manager at the time, he stopped me before I was about to start the shutdown and asked me to stay a bit later to continue gas production. And in my head, I'm thinking we already meet the quota today. But he is a new manager and he wanted to impress the CEO, who was also in the office today. So I think he was expecting me to say yes, because usually during the weekdays I would say yes anyway. I live in a small town 2 hours away from my friends and family at the time. So usually during those days, if I have nothing to do, I would work anyway. But on a Friday, I was actually very upset. Obviously, I couldn't show that I was upset. The manager and CEO was there. So I just had to suck it up that day. But yeah, like me and my coworker, he was asked as well to stay late, and I was pissed. I don't know if he was pissed, but as a young engineer, I wanted to get my license for engineering. That will give me a big pay bump, better job opportunities. That was my thing at the time. And one of the requirements is to get a good reference from your manager or another superior who also had an engineering license. So my naive young thinking was saying, okay, just say yes. You said yes before. What would hurt for just one more day on a Friday? You know, we stayed later. I was thinking like, okay, I'll leave at 7 p.m. latest. That should be enough so that we can stop the plant and then we can go home. There's still enough time. I'll probably get home like around 9 p.m. I can still see my friends. If anything, I can just go straight there. But as 7 p.m. came around, I asked my manager, can we shut down? And my manager, he looked at me and asked me if we can stay even later, like 9 p.m. And I was very confused. We didn't have any dinner yet. I don't know what his plan is. He wasn't even transparent to say like why. I asked him like, why are we staying so late? All he said was the CEO is here, the CEO is here. So at this point, now that I think about it now, he was definitely trying to impress the CEO because he's a new hired manager. So at that point, I asked him, okay, can you order us food? We haven't had dinner yet. He was very hesitant, which is, I don't know why he was hesitant. I mean, it's going to be on the company card anyway. And I think he did that because he knows I was visibly upset. He didn't give me a heads up. And yeah, so we had dinner. I stayed. In hindsight, I should have said no. But again, I want to get my certification. I want to have a good reputation, which is very stupid and naive. And I still think about it to this day. And by the time we shut down the whole plant, it's 12 a.m. So I couldn't even get a chance to see my family and friends, and we planned an outing to go out that night. And I was very angry. I was very pissed. I didn't even go straight home. in the small town. I just drove out to the pier and I was just staring at the lake. And I just thought to myself, this is bullshit. This is not the first time either. There have been weeks where I've been working my ass off and I feel like I'm not getting rewarded. And I just start to question everything. Like, why am I working at this company? Why am I getting treated like this? Is this normal? So the next day when I drove down 2 hours, I told my friends everything about it. And my friends were shocked and they asked me if I got paid for it. And my dumbass, I said no. And they're like, what the fuck? Why are you working for free? And I said, isn't this normal? Don't you guys do the same as well? And I was totally out of the blue because I'm working in a small town. All I know is in that company, that's the norm. It's a very small company. Everyone knows everyone. It's a small town. And my friends were saying, let me guess, did they say they treat you like family? And I gave a reluctant yes. And they're like, dude, they're treating you like that so that they expect you to stay late by buttering you up. And now you're working for free and you're spending all your time there. And the tipping point was that they asked me how much I was getting paid compared to how much they were getting paid. So I told them my number. They said their number. And this was a 20K difference. I'm spending at least like 80 hours a week busting my ass for this company. And they're just doing at least a quarter of the work that I'm doing, and they're getting paid 20K more. So you can imagine my reaction. I was pissed. I was like, I wanted to quit on the spot. I was just shocked. And then I jokingly said, but not jokingly said, do you guys have any positions? Are you guys hiring? I would love to leave. And mind you, this was before all this TikTok, this social media. People are more transparent about their salaries. But then on Glassdoor, that was also accessible information, but you just need to post an anonymous review of a company, and then after that's approved, then you get a salary range, but sometimes the salary range is outdated by 5 years, and the information is not as updated by the information given on TikTok from other engineers. Anyways, I feel like I'm all over the place with this story, but I think if you're in a similar position as I was before, and you want to leave your job, I guess the most obvious answer is to start applying, whether it's applying on LinkedIn or on Indeed. Honestly, my new job, I got it by applying through the Easy Apply on LinkedIn. And if you had the same mindset as I had before, you want to stay at a certain job just to get in a certain amount of years and to get a reference, I'm willing to bet you that at least one person will be happy to be a reference for you. If you made good connections at your workplace, then that shouldn't be a problem. And if anything, if they're willing to be a reference for you, I'm pretty sure they see all the BS in the company and they want to leave as well. And they just want the best for you. So yeah, start applying. It can be scary at first, but I think over time, as you get a routine going and start applying, it'll be easier. I guess you could also say use that anger or frustration as motivation to start applying. There'll be days where you'll be thinking, oh yeah, I don't need to apply. That's when it's all sunshine and rainbows, and then there are days where you get upset. The only thing you think about is applying once you leave the office. So yeah, it won't hurt. Best case scenario, you'll get a better job. Worst case scenario, they say no, but you're still getting paid, and you can always apply to another job. But that's the end for this video. I have a lot more work stories, but I can cover them in another video. But yeah, if you stay this long, thanks for watching. Leave a comment and subscribe. But honestly, you just being here is enough. Take care.